Hi, I'm Gina Phillips. I'm a certified divorce financial analyst and owner of Western New York Divorce Financial Advisors. So you made this choice to start the divorce process, but you don't know where to start. I know myself, when I started the process 12 years ago, I didn't know where to turn. So what I've compiled today is a list of top 10 tips to help you get started in the divorce process, or like I like to call it, marital transition. Tip number 1, education. It's important for you to be your biggest advocate during this whole process. So know your state requirements. Some states have residency requirements. Other states have different considerations regarding assets. Some consider assets prior to marriage personal assets, while others are community property states. So research your individual state requirements to start the process. Also know the various methods of divorce. There's mediation, there's collaborative, and then there's trial or litigation. Keep in mind, if you're amicable with your spouse, mediation and collaborative might be the best way for you to go to save time, effort, and money. If you're not so amicable and there's a lot of contention in your divorce, maybe each of you need your own attorney. But keep in mind, when you enter that process, there are specific requirements for the courts, so that each time there's a court appearance or hearing, you have to have a lawyer represent each of you. So there would be more fees involved. Tip number 2, gather your documents. So it's very important to have a clear understanding of your income and expenses and your assets and liabilities when you start this process. So gather your checking accounts, your saving accounts, your investment accounts. Any assets you may own, car, boat, timeshares, secondary homes, antiques. It's very important to get a clear picture of what you do have. Also, don't forget your liabilities. That includes credit card statements, installment loans, mortgage statements, and then don't forget about what you're saving for the future. Annuities, retirement assets, including 401ks or pensions. Maybe there's a 529 plan for your children. You want to gather all that information. I always find it beneficial also to have 3 years of taxes to review, just to make sure you didn't forget anything along the way. Tip number 3, track your expenses. Okay, now you have your checking account statement in front of you. Take a hard look at it. What's going in and what's coming out. Look at all those auto expenses. Is there anything you can stop along the ways? And don't forget about your annual expenses, like taxes or insurance. Tip number 4, make a budget. What is the minimum amount of money you need for your basic needs? Once you have those covered, then there might be luxuries that you can add to your budget. Also, don't forget to consider things that you might happen annually, like a family vacation or a trip to see your relatives. If you budget for them on a monthly basis, it's easier to manage your funds throughout the year. Tip number 5, no big financial decisions. So I need a house to live in, so I'm going to purchase it now. Get through the marital transition process before you purchase a home, a condo, or a new car. You want to have a true picture of what your finances are going to be like in the future. Tip number 6, make a list of your financial and personal priorities. It's so important. You're going to be an individual person now, and you have to figure out what's best for you. If there's children involved, maybe you want to stay in the home or in the same school district. Maybe they're getting ready to go off to college and you don't need such a big home, and it's more important about their college education. Or maybe there's no children involved and you're getting ready to retire. So your main concern is to travel and live your life and not worry about a home anymore. Just make the list of priorities, put it aside, and take another look at it in a week or so and see if they truly are your priorities or just a knee-jerk reaction. Tip number 7, don't put the kids in the middle of your marital transition process. Doesn't matter what age they are. Children are going to be affected by the divorce. If they're 4 or if they're 24. They're 4, they might not remember any of the family outings prior to that. If they're 24, they have all those memories and they maybe feel that they need to take sides. Listen, let them know they're loved by both parents and try the best you can to get along for the sake of the children. The more amicable your children see you and your former spouse getting along, the more they're going to learn that it just wasn't right for you and your spouse to be together, but it has nothing to do with the children. Let them know that they're loved by both you and your spouse. Tip number 8, be cautious of advice from other people. Listen, when you go through this process or start the process, you're confused and you might tell someone, I'm thinking of getting a divorce. And they might have a lot of different advice for you. But most of the time, they'll have advice like, my cousin Sally was a stay-at-home mom and she was married 25 years and she got maintenance for the rest of her life. Or my friend Susie just wanted out of the marriage, so she left, she went bankrupt 2 years later, and she ended up with nothing. Listen, just like you, every person's unique and every divorce situation is unique. So listen, but educate yourself. You are your biggest advocate. Tip number 9, don't let your emotions get in your way. Listen, it's very important to think with your head and not your heart. And I know that's easier said than done. All of us have been through emotional periods in our life when relationships have been lost, especially in marriage, especially if there's children involved. But don't seek revenge if they've cheated, and don't walk away and be financially hurt. Take a step back, take a deep breath, and try to process everything. It is a process. Losing a relationship is a grief process, just like if you're losing a spouse. And that leads me to tip number 10. Tip number 10, know when to hire a professional. Maybe you need a mental health professional. Maybe you want a trainer to get you back into shape. Maybe you need a divorce support group. And also research different lawyers. But if you're uncertain about your finances and you want help guiding and navigating the whole process related to the financial uncertainties related to marital transition, reach out to me. I'm a CDFA and I offer a free consultation. Click on the link below and contact me. Also, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be offering other videos to help you get through this marital transition process.